Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Morning.
Hi.
Hey.
Morning.
So I want to keep this a little short because my sleep schedule got turned around last night for some reason. I couldn't sleep well, so I'm gonna keep this a little bit short. Um, but the main thing is, I just want to I wanted to um, point out something about the cost accounting architecture that I think is useful for Rolang in general. Um, in particular, I think a lot of us have been wondering about um, how to debug Rolang and how to provide a good debugger. And it occurs to me that that we can use the mechanism that we use for cost accounting, and more generally, it turns out that every rolling program, every row calculus expression can be converted into a form that I call continuation saturated, where no comma event can happen without observation. And in fact, what you can do is um, you can create. In fact, the way I modeled cost accounting the first time around was to use the continuation saturated form to illustrate illustrate a very simple cost accounting mechanism, so that every computational step, every reduction could be stopped and checked to see if there was a supply of token available. You could do the same thing where every step is stopped and check to see if there's any debugging observation reporting that needs to go on, instead of worrying about phlogiston. What you're worrying about is stepping through the program um, and reporting to any observational mechanisms that need to be reported. Because someone's placed a breakpoint, or someone needs to inspect a value associated with a given location or channel. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. So it means that the mechanism that we've already got implemented can also be used to implement a fairly decent debugger. We still have to talk about threads or threading, but that can be associated with the deploy ID. So when you have the mechanism that we're using for deploy ID can be used to identify COM events with a particular contract or deployment of a contract. So you can also kind of gather up a selection of COM events so that people can know that those COM events are all associated with a particular execution of a process. Otherwise, it starts to get very difficult to figure out what's going on in the system. But once you have that identifier, that's another key piece to a debugging architecture. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about tools that we're going to need to provide folks with a decent development environment. And I think we've basically just lying around with the stuff that we've already got is going to be sufficient to to provide a fairly sophisticated debugging, IDE that will allow people to set breakpoints and step through their code, inspect the values that are stored at channels, and keep track of all the different processes that are running, and know which processes are foreign and which ones local. So all of that is available in what we've already got implemented. So that's that's basically all I wanted to talk about today, was just that the fact that I think we've got a decent architecture already in place to provide a good debugging support. It's just a matter of finding the resources and the time to go ahead and start providing a good UI or user experience to access those features. Any questions or comments?
I have a question or some comments on an unrelated topic.
Okay, what's that?
Raphael brought to the communications working group's attention the Paris Blockchain Week Summit, which will be happening, I believe, in March or April of next year.
Okay.
And it's there. They want to get French based projects into the event. So Raphael spoke with the organizer, the promoter, and they offered made an offer to where DAPI could partner up with our chain and participate in the Paris Blockchain Week Summit. So it'd be sort of a collaboration of a layer 1, layer 2. So I emailed some details on the event to the board and to others in marketing, and I wanted to see if there's an opportunity today during one of our meetings to where we could discuss this. When Raphael spoke with the promoter, they're working to finalize, the vendors that'll participate. So we have sort of a short timeline to get back to them to express if we're interested or not.
Yeah, sure. Let's definitely participate for sure.
And it's also in Europe, so I guess it could be a very good opportunity for me to meet some European members, as well as maybe Nadziber, if he will be able to come. So, and of course Steve Rostalbot, and maybe you, of course, Greg, if you feel if you want to come.
It turns out that there's two reasons for me to come. There's a significant opportunity for us with a London single family office. So if I go to London to work with them and then hop over to Paris, that would work out well.
Okay, so maybe we can discuss it in the dev meeting, I guess.
Sure. At the end of the dev meeting, sure, that works.
Or perhaps Ian suggested we have an SPV meeting today at 12 Pacific time. We sort of go on to other related topics. So that might be another opportunity to discuss it with more of the RChain staff.
It's late though for Raphael.
It's pretty late for Raphael. Yeah.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
I think the link is that we have been talking about a dev retreat, and maybe one possibility is to combine this blockchain association meeting with the dev retreat is a possibility that we can think about.
That's another possibility for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so good. So we can, at the end of the dev meeting, if there's time, touch on this, and then there'll be more Archain staff so it's 12 p.m. Pacific time. And Raphael, I'll send you the Zoom room for that meeting as well.
Okay, great. So yeah, it's in 5 hours, so that's nice.
Okay, very good. Well, that's all I had covered. And it sounds like that was also very productive. So I think what I'll do is I'll just yield back the time and see folks in the dev stand up in about 45 minutes.
Very good. Thank you, everyone.
Ciao.
All right. Thank you all. Ciao, ciao.